Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that the words you use every day have quietly been shaping the way you see the world. Not just how you communicate with others, but how you actually think. Your memories, your attention, even how you see colors, time, and space. Language might seem like just a tool for speaking, something we use to express ideas that already exist in our mind. But many scientists now believe the opposite might also be true. Language doesn't just express thought, it helps build it. Think of language like the operating system of your mind. Just like software determines what apps you can run and how you interact with the device, the language you speak can influence the way your brain organizes reality. Two people speaking different languages may experience the world in slightly different ways. Not dramatically like living in different planets, but enough to change what they notice, remember, and pay attention to. This idea is known in psychology and linguistics as the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, or sometimes called linguistic relativity. The core idea is simple. The language you speak influences the way you think about the world, gently guiding thoughts like the banks of a river. Imagine language as a set of lenses. When you put on a pair of glasses with colored lenses, the world appears slightly different through that filter. One of the most famous studies comes from research on color perception. In English, we divide colors into basic categories like blue and green. In Russian, there are two commonly used words for what English speakers call blue, one for lighter blue, and another for darker blue. Russian speakers were significantly faster at identifying the difference than English speakers because their language treats them as distinct basic colors. A helpful metaphor is sorting socks in a drawer. If you have more categories, white, gray, black, navy, you start noticing distinctions you might otherwise ignore. Another area where language shapes thought is space and direction. Most languages, including English, describe space relative to ourselves: left, right, behind. But certain indigenous Australian languages, like Gugu Yamathir, use absolute directions. Instead of left, they would say the cup is north of the plate. Because they constantly speak in terms of north, south, east, and west, they have an incredibly strong sense of orientation, even indoors. Imagine living in a world where your brain becomes like a built-in compass. Language forces you to practice spatial awareness all day. Languages also describe time differently. In English, we imagine time moving horizontally from left to right, like looking forward to the future. Mandarin Chinese speakers often use vertical metaphors, describing earlier events as up and later events as down. Imagine time is like a road. In English, it stretches horizontally. In Mandarin metaphors, time might feel more like an elevator moving up and down. Language also affects how we think about responsibility. Consider the vase broke versus John broke the vase. English speakers are more likely to remember who caused the accident. Spanish speakers might focus more on the event itself than the actor. Some languages assign grammatical gender to objects. In German, a bridge is feminine. In Spanish, it is masculine. German speakers might describe bridges as beautiful or elegant, while Spanish speakers might use words like strong or long, but language does not imprison our thoughts. The modern view is that language influences thought, but it does not control it completely. Imagine language as a set of trails through a forest. Most of the time, our thoughts follow those well-worn paths because they are efficient. But we are still free to step off the trail and explore new areas. Learning a new language is like discovering a new trail system. Language is like a spotlight. It illuminates certain parts of reality while leaving others dimmer. More words for something create a more detailed picture. Think of language as a map. A subway map focuses on stations. A hiking map shows elevation. Languages map the world in their own ways. Learning other languages is a way of expanding our cognitive horizons. When you learn new words, you learn new patterns of attention. The relationship between language and thought is like a dance. Language guides thought, thought reshapes language, and together they shape how we understand reality. Every time we speak, we are not just sharing ideas. We are participating in the ongoing construction of how humans see the world. Thanks for watching.